Redditors who grew up poor or low income. What random or arbitrary thing means rich to you? If you've got a fridge with a water and ice dispenser, you're rich to me. Grew up poor as hell and climbed out of it. My current household income is over 5x what my parents raised 2 kids and somehow managed to send them to college on, and my girlfriend was confused when this was basically my take on it. Bought a house that came with most of the appliances because the previous owners didn't want to deal with moving them, 2 kitchens worth at that. We take possession, and my first act upon moving in was to pour a big glass of ice water from the fridge dispenser, look at her, and say we made it. I'd never had one of those before. Going on a vacation once a year. I can remember 2 family vacations, and one of those was for a relative's wedding out of state. I inherited a bit of money when my kids were in high school. We had never been able to take even a weekend-long family vacation before that. The first thing we did was take a 10-day vacation to dig for diamonds in Arkansas, followed by 6 days on the beach in Florida. Not only did I want my kids to see parts of the country they'd never seen, I wanted us to be able to have an experience as a family and build memories together. We continued with a family vacation once a year until they were 18 and 19 years old. That was the year we decided to really make some memories. We took 2.5 weeks and drove over 5,000 miles from the Midwest through the desert Southwest. We saw the Badlands, Mount Rushmore, Devil's Tower, Colorado, Santa Fe, ending in Flagstaff and the Grand Canyon, and a drive down into Phoenix and the desert. We didn't spend a ton of time in each place because I wanted to give my sons a taste of what all is out there, and, hopefully when they have their own families, they can choose to go back to some of those places to explore a bit more. Or even better, they can visit and explore new places and make memories with their families. When you can start to hire people to do things for you to save you time. Nannies, shoppers, cleaners, dog walkers, etc. The weird thing is that now that I am grown and financially comfortable, I still can't bring myself to spring for any of those services, even though many of them are actually quite affordable and would save a lot of hassle. This is the epitome of being rich. The only thing you can't buy more of is time, except you can, by paying others to save you time. This, not needing to do things for yourself, is the heart of luxury. I've been thinking about this a lot lately because I need to get a landscaper. Turning the heating on. Lived most of my winter life wearing hoodies, multiple pair of socks on, sipping tea, carrying a hot water bottle with me from one room to the other, reheating the same water. Cool trick, wrap your clean clothes or underwear around a hot water bottle when you're showering, the feeling of putting them on warm is priceless. Cool trick 2. If you do have the heat on and you want to feel lavish and luxurious, throw your towel on the radiator before you shower. It's almost like being in a spa with a hot towel. While I wasn't poor, while I was growing up, my room was in the basement. Unfortunately, our heater just didn't cover it as well as the upstairs. Hot air rising and all that. So I mostly just adjusted to the cold. Saves on heating during the winter. Though now air conditioning is mandatory during the summer, spring, and fall because I need the cold. Regular doctor's office visits or seeing a dentist at all for anything other than an emergency. See, for me, I was able to afford the dentist for 15 years, never got taken much when I was a kid. Finally got my teeth straightened and wisdom teeth pulled, but it was super expensive. That's mostly just a US thing. Here in Canada, even poor people get to visit the doctor. Damn. That was my life. I didn't go to a dentist until a few years ago. I'm 34, mainly because I was ashamed to go once I was an adult after never going as a child. I've never told anyone about it. When the hygienist cleaning my teeth got onto me for not getting a cleaning in a while, I just felt lucky to not have any major issues. 2 cavities that weren't awful and some tartar build up on the back of my teeth. I made it a point for my kids to keep a regular apt with a dentist because honestly, it was a secret shame of mine to never go. Going to a grocery store and being able to buy whatever you want without worrying about a budget. My ex, her family would shop at Whole Foods for groceries. Easily a $400 to $500 total when we get to the checkout. once a week. As a kid it was definitely buying name brands. For some reason buying no-name brands or off-brands was so looked down upon. Something I still kinda struggle with now that I'm on my own. Having name brand anything. Clothing, food, toys. We only had hand-me-downs, thrift store items, and dented off-brand canned goods. We rarely had meat with meals, and also split everything when there wasn't enough to go around. I loved sleepovers at my friends' houses, as we could play video games with real game controllers and accessories, and have name-brand cereal in the morning. Paper towel. So strange, but that was something my parents refused to buy. I still don't buy them. I grew up using rags to clean up messes. Paper towels just seem so wasteful in comparison. Being able to not only eat at a fancy restaurant like Outback Steakhouse or Papado's, but being able to order anything and as much as you like from the menu. Growing up, we only went out to eat a handful of times, and it was to pizza places. The first several times I went to an actual restaurant after college, I was extremely intimidated by prices and etiquette, to the point that I didn't enjoy it. Because of this I made sure my kids were very comfortable going out to eat. Conversely, I grew up in an upper-middle-class household, and it was pretty normal for us to go out to eat at a place like Outback on Fridays or Sundays. Now that I'm on my own with a more modest income, I've realized decent food is expensive as hell. I had a friend who was surprised that I've never been skiing and said that all people should know how to ski. I had to remind her that not everyone has a second house near the mountains, nor do they have money to even visit the mountains for the weekend. Married into a skiing family and never really got over how pricey that particular sport is. Rentals, lift tickets, lessons, proper clothing, cost of meals at the lodges, damn, honey. All that so you can watch the kids fall down for a few hours. We did that on cheap sleds all day long for nothing. I did come to realize that for some members of my family, there was no thrill like zipping fast and in complete control down the side of a beautiful mountain, but I never became one of them. Not telling the difference between the start and the end of the month. There are some differences today. I'm not that rich obviously, but it's not so obvious as it was when I was a kid. See also, third of the month. I accidentally went to a grocery store on Friday the 3rd, one-time paper check payday, and when those social security and welfare checks come in, I did my shopping despite the crowds. I was extremely nice to the cashiers, and I played peekaboo and made funny faces at the kids who were in line in front of me, because I have been one of those kids before. Mom was on welfare when I was a little kid. Being able to afford vacations. I live in the UK, so a lot of people expect that because flights are cheaper we all go abroad. Nope. My family could never afford it. Plus my mum worked a lot of temp jobs and 0-hour contracts, so no holidays. I remember going to a summer camp as a kid and everybody sitting at the table talking about what we were going to do after camp that week. A lot of the kids were saying, "Oh, I'm going to daycare because my parents work at sea." Conversation gets to me and I'm like, "Yeah, we are going to Paradise Island in the Bahamas for a week," and everyone at the table's jaw dropped, and people were calling me the rich kid for the rest of the week. Definitely made me realize how good I had it. Being able to grocery shop without having to add up the prices to make sure you can afford what's in your cart. To me, middle class income is when you stop worrying about day-to-day money problems, bills, food, rent or mortgage, salary coming on time, medication, and start worrying about longer-term finance, such as college for the kids, retirement, investments. Good shoes. For me it was specifically sneakers. I never had a pair growing up. I always got some nonsense from Kmart that cost around $3. Embarrassed to say that one year all I got were a pair of these rubber saddles that I wore socks with in the winter. In high school, a friend took pity on me and gave me a hand-me-down pair of Adidas so I could participate in gym class. This is probably why I'm one of the few females in the world who doesn't buy shoes. I have one pair of decent sneakers that are about 15 years old, one pair of boots, also 15 years old. Both in good condition because I rarely wear them. One pair of work shoes, because they are required, nurse-type shoes, black, and one pair of moccasins, which are my favorite. LOL, last time I was in a store looking at shoes, I ended up saying "Fug it, I'll just wear my moccasins," and bought nothing. New clothing. Not second hand. I was one of the poorer kids in a poor school. The other kids would talk about going to Kmart or Target for new clothes, and it just blew my mind. We'd go to the thrift shop, only buy things on sale, and when we couldn't even afford that, our parents would ask friends with kids around our age for hand-me-downs. Even now, buying new clothing seems like an extravagant luxury, and again, I'm talking about clothing from Target, not Nordstrom. I'm very glad that my son enjoys thrifting and putting together weird outfits because he's a weird artsy kid, but if only one of us can get new clothing, it's him. More than one bathroom in your home? Yes. We had one bathroom, 2 bedrooms and 5 family members. Wasting food in restaurant, that's rich people stuff for me. We never waste a single bite of food, but those people who waste that much food, must be too rich. Or going to a restaurant and being able to look at a dessert menu. I remember once a year my dad would save up to take us out to the Golden Corral all-you-can-eat buffet, and I would clear 7 full plates and still not have a stomach ache. It was a sin to have a single morsel of food left on our plate. Agree 100%. A dishwasher. The internet acts like everyone has one, let alone the space for it. We used ours to store the dishes as using it was too expensive and it was too old. It came with the rent. When people buy a new phone, not BC last phone is broken, but BC it's just a new model. I personally could never afford that, and I think it's such a waste of money. I'm still using a $120 phone from Walmart purchased in summer of 2014 even though I have the money to upgrade. Hard to change penny pinching habits. Proper health insurance, the ability to afford to take your pets to the vet. Having full coverage insurance on your car, a car that isn't 20 years old, the ability to take said car to the mechanic for repairs. Birthday and Christmas gifts, yep, even to this day I never got a gift. Godam man, sorry to hear that. My parents, to their financial detriment, always gave us a good Christmas. Snacks. Tostitos pizza bites. My buddy would have friends over and his mom would automatically break out the pizza bites. I was like, well, this is living. A good haircut. Yes. My parents dictated when I got haircuts as a kid. And in the IITs when fades and short hair was in vogue, my mom has me looking like Patrick Swayze. Being able to just buy a drink on the fly wherever you are. When my mom didn't have much expendable income, we would go to the beach either dragging a few liters of drinks and snacks, or not having anything to eat or drink at all for most of the day. When you can have all of your bills on auto pay. Having a real wood kitchen table and matching chairs. I grew up eating at a card table with plastic lawn chairs. I have £200 in my savings. That's unheard of with how I grew up. After cereal commercials it would show a huge balanced breakfast of fruit, juices, toast and more, then say, part of this complete breakfast. I'd be in so much trouble if I tried having even 2 breakfasts, let alone 5. I had rich cousins and I remember just being in total awe of their clothes, their toys, the way their rooms were decorated, and just generally how happy and easy their lives seemed. When you have a wall of windows that you don't tape up with plastic and heavy curtains to help insulate the house during winter. Having the toilet and bath or shower in the same room and not having a tiny separate room for the toilet and another small room for the shower or bath. Liquid hand soap changed every so often in the bathroom. We just bought 20p soap bars that smelled god awful and made your hands ashy. Using liquid shower gel for the shower again. Those cheap-ass soap bars that smelled like toxic chemicals. When we made the change to shower gel, oh god, that was heaven. Having a working radiator in the bedroom. When the apartment we were staying in was getting looked at for upgrades, they said it was basically illegal to have this many occupants, was 4 people, with only 2 small radiators in the entire apartment. We now have a radiator in every room. I didn't realize what having a warm winter meant. Especially only having 1 blanket. I moved my bed so I could lay next to the radiator when my dad turned it on. Heaven. Being able to eat excess food. My dad never let me eat more than 1 egg a day or 1 slice of bacon, for breakfast as an example. 1 small yogurt pot a day if we had money to buy them. Just small things like that. Now I can eat as much as I want, and it's honestly such a luxury. Being able to order things online. My parents never allowed me to, obviously no money. No shipping money, etc. Now my boyfriend introduced me to Amazon Prime, and I can't lie. I've been ordering things I've been wanting once upon a time. Having money to buy coffee outside. Can't explain how jealous I was seeing my friends buying £5 to £6 coffees from Starbucks and not being able to afford them. Sad smiley. I never take that for granted either, still a luxury though, it's a lot of money. Drinking bottled water. Toxic tap water still flows through my veins. If you've ever tasted London tap water, yeah, you know what I'm on about. Being able to buy clothes on a day that isn't my birthday nor Christmas. It feels so good. Being able to buy train tickets. The amount of times I've not been able to go anywhere or see my friends or family simply because I couldn't afford £3 there and back. I love traveling on trains. So this is a good one. Buying PC games or cosmetic items in games. Only when I got a job was I able to do that, and honestly, wow, you really enjoy a game more and new games when you actually can live through the full experience. Simply owning a car and being able to drive it. Currently too poor to get a driving license, but every time my boyfriend or his parents drive me around, just such an amazing feeling, man, like God. Growing up without a car was awful. Lugging around heavy shopping bags with my parents was not fun at all. Not being able to go buy things for the house because not having the means to. It really is a different lifestyle. The tooth fairy leaving a kid like $20 for a tooth. I didn't grow up poor, but a friend at primary school, from a low-income family, gave a great summary of what rich and poor means. She was only 9 years old and really summed up the kid's perspective. Rich equals parent drops you off and picks you up from school and makes you 3 meals a day. Poor equals goes to breakfast club or after school club while parents are at work and eats at school cafeteria most of the time. We were lucky to grow up in a country where the government provided these clubs for free as well as meals. Elsewhere, I'm sure my friend would have had a very different view of what it means to be poor. Thank you for watching and listening to this video. Please share your own stories, experiences and comments below. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you liked the video. Have you got a suggestion? Write it below. See you next time. Bye.